Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. Let's take a look at what's in store today.
In this video, we're going to be doing something that I said I would never actually do in Diablo, and that is resetting my legacy of the Horadrim. So there are 3 nodes on here specifically that I want to lower so that I can put the materials into other nodes and benefit from it a little bit more. So we're going to be reducing my life and damage nodes. So there are 3 nodes altogether that I'm going to be reducing. Now, I haven't actually changed my legacy of the Horadrim since I started playing Diablo, but as you know, something that I am focusing on is my secondary attributes. So I'm hoping to increase my armor penetration, potency and resistance by changing some of my nodes around and hopefully making my build and my character a little bit more strong. So what I'm going to do is a 30-second test with my Legacy of the Horadrim set up exactly how it's always been. As I mentioned, I have never reset this. When they originally made it so that you could reset it, I did make a video and said at the time that I wasn't going to change mine. However, I did put quite a lot of materials into my life and damage nodes originally at the start when I first started playing Diablo and when I didn't really understand the importance of secondaries. So that is why I'm looking at changing this today. And we're going to be doing this together to see exactly if it does increase my damage at all. As I mentioned, a lot of people I've noticed have reset theirs as well. So in a 30-second burst with my setup as it is, we've got 103 million damage, which is 3.4 million damage per second. So what I'm going to do is we're going to head into Ibenfard's Sanctum. I'm going to run to get my aspirant keys because I've got a few keys to open chests. So we're going to get some more materials and then see if we can actually increase that damage at all by resetting the nodes on the Legacy of the Horadrim. So ideally what I want to do is put more of the materials into things like armor penetration, potency and resistance. Predominantly armor penetration and armor. Obviously armor won't increase my damage, but in PvP and other instances it should help to have that increase a little bit. Now, for those that don't know, running the Ibenfard Sanctum every day is super beneficial. By doing this, you get 4 aspirant keys, even if you don't want to open any chests. You can also now send your familiars on a familiar expedition to run this for you. However, for the purpose of this video, I decided to run it myself. And to be honest, I do actually quite like running the Ibenfard Sanctum myself. I don't know why, I just enjoy having this as one of my little daily tasks that I do actually complete. And as I mentioned, running this each day is beneficial because you get your free chest here that you can open, which will give you some materials, and you get your 4 aspirant keys as well. So entering, and even if you just open that first chest, is super beneficial. So we're going to open a few chests today with the keys that I have, and we're going to gain a few more materials from this. I think I'm quite close to actually having enough materials to upgrade one of my other levels on my Horadrim anyway, so that will help when we reset all the Paragon points in a second as well. So let's head back now to the main shrine and take a look here. So as you can see, it's set up exactly as it was in my character tab, and you can see the damage, life have quite a lot of increase on that compared to some of the other nodes. The life especially has quite a high increase on that. So I'm going to look at resetting these 3 areas, and I want to probably upgrade them to rank 20 at the most. So they're going to be losing a few levels. However, this should actually benefit my other areas, as I mentioned, like armor penetration, potency and resistance. So we've reset everything now. I'm going to go through and upgrade all of these. I'm not going to film it because it's a very long process. And then we'll see exactly where I'm at for my Horadrim and also for my damage. So this is what it's looking like now. So there's a few areas where I've gained levels. I unfortunately ran out of materials on potency node. So that is actually 1 level lower than what it was previously. However, I'm super close to having enough materials to upgrade that eventually again. But you can see the damage and life nodes are all down to level 20. Now I have seen people go down to level 8 with these and really maximize their other nodes and have the other nodes up to sort of like level 45, which is absolutely crazy to me. I didn't want to lower mine too much because obviously being a wizard, I kind of need a little bit of life compared to some of the melee classes. So as you can see at the top here, as I mentioned, I do still have some decent amount of materials for some of my upgrades. So I'll be coming back to that at a later date and updating it further. Maybe by the end of the week or next week, I should be able to upgrade a couple of my nodes further. So now we're going to head back to Westmarch and the training ground to test this out. But first, let's take a look at the change in my secondaries. So on the left, we obviously have our updated secondaries. And on the right, you can see how they were originally looking. So a slight increase on armor. Armor penetration is about 80 increase on that. Potency is the exact same, and resistance is a little bit higher as well. So although I haven't increased on these a huge amount, it might make a little bit of difference in the test. And even though our damage is reduced, what most people will know now in Diablo Immortal is that originally we all focused on the actual damage stat, but if you don't have the secondaries, it really doesn't make a difference. If you have high damage, you need high damage as well as having those higher secondaries. So the increase that I continue to gain on these will be from my normal gems. However, I might eventually look at resetting my Horadrim again to see if I can benefit even more from changing that and putting more materials into my secondary stats rather than that damage and life. So now we're going to do the 30-second test again. If you're new to my channel, I stand this close when I test this build simply because the Sprite Spark Essence doesn't do damage unless you are pretty much on top of your target. So for the test, I always stand super close when I have this Essence active. And I'm only testing my farm build here because it's the build that I had equipped before this video. And whatever build I'm using, if I've reset my Horadrim and it's going to increase my damage, it will work with any of my builds. So that is why we're testing it with this today. So we're going to do the 30 seconds again, and time is almost up. And in 30 seconds, we have 3.5 million damage and 105 million damage in that 30 seconds. So 3.5 million damage per second and 105 in 30 seconds. So it does look like there is a slight increase in my damage there. Originally, the test was 103 million in 30 seconds and 3.35, I think it was, per second. So we do have that slight increase there from changing this. As I mentioned, I do still have some materials left, so I haven't used up as many materials as I had previously for the upgrades. So I should be able to upgrade more of my secondary nodes eventually, hopefully at the end of the week, as I mentioned. But that's it from me today. I hope you found this video interesting. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.